All right, we're back to discuss Pixels, and if you saw our review, we recommended it. It has been a little while since it came out, so we're getting to the review a little bit late, but we saw a screening of it, test screening, probably 6 or 7 months ago now, and, you know, some of the stuff wasn't finished yet. The CGI sections were, they had a lot of stuff that was, like, drawn in, or, you know, really low quality CG that was just sort of a placeholder. And honestly, I think they were trying to figure out, you know, if the tone was right, if there was enough of certain things. They wanted to know if we bought the relationships, like if we bought the thing, you know, Adam Sandler and Michelle Moynihan and those sorts of things, or if we were turned off by certain people being in the movie. Mm-hmm. And I think they were being really careful about not playing up the fact, like, you would never see a trailer for this movie that said Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Pixels. It always just says Pixels. They were being very careful not to make people's expectation that it was going to be I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry type of movie. Yeah. Typical, like, Happy Madison movie. I mean, the video effects budget in this thing's insane. And most of the time when they make their comedies, they make them for next to nothing. I mean, they get a bunch of sponsorships, and they, you know, sort of spin it all that way. But as far as talking about spoilers in the movie, I mean, there's a ton of, you know, nostalgic cameos, however you want to say it, you know, like things like Max Headroom popping up, and
Hall & Oates
and all the different video games that they use. It is interesting because in the story, all of the games have to be basically from 1982, so they don't go anywhere beyond that, really. Like, they don't have...
At the very end, they do. In the scene where the little ninjas are attacking the school bus, that's from a video game that came out in 2009 called Mini Ninjas.
Okay.
But, like, that's it. Everything else is mid-80s,
yeah,
somewhere in there, like Paperboy and things.
I just
like
mean
that.
It's an interesting thing that they chose that particular era, because I could have seen them going for a bit later and getting more nostalgia, like getting more of the, like, early Nintendo era, but they were going for the arcade era instead, which I think makes it more for, like, you know, 40 and 50 somethings instead of 20 and 30 somethings. But they also do this thing in the movie where the movie sort of, it tries to make you feel smart for recognizing what video game is there, and then invariably, like 10 or 20 seconds after it reveals whatever it is, a character says what it is.
Yeah.
Which I saw some people complain about, but I was fine with that. Like, if you take kids to see this movie, they are not going to know what Centipede is.
They don't know at all, so that's kind of almost... It'd be interesting to see if it, you know, is a little bit of a resurgence for, you know, the classic games. Like, kids are like, oh, I want to play that. Like, I want to play Pac-Man now. You know?
Yeah.
I haven't played that in forever.
The only one that they give away prior to it actually showing up on screen is Pac-Man. Because when he shows up, they're talking to a cop that had seen Pac-Man,
right?
And he's the one that reveals it. But yeah, all the other ones, you know, like Centipede, the mushrooms are falling out of the sky.
Yeah, which I think is, I mean, that's a smart use of the licensing, a smart use of the IPs that they were allowed to use.
It was really well done. I was shocked they got Nintendo to agree to a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I thought was really cool? I've seen the trailer before, and the part where he backs the car out, and the Pac-Man's coming after him. But to learn the actual context of that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was so cool the way it was done. He was counting down the power of, you know.
Yeah.
Or turn around.
I feel like the weakest part of the movie is when they're at the ball and they figure out that Peter Dinklage cheated.
Yeah, cheat codes.
That sequence just seems to go on a little bit too long. The rest of the movie just has really good pacing, and it really moves quickly. especially the first half or so. And then the final battle is kind of disjointed because half the characters are up in the mothership playing Donkey Kong, and the other half are like
On Earth.
hanging around. And
Yeah.
there's also all these people that are upset about like the whatever her name is, the character they made up, the Lisa whatever, with the girl Josh Gad ends up with.
Yeah, Lady Lisa.
Lady Lisa. It's like, of all the things to get upset about, like, get over yourselves. And like the movie even makes fun of the fact that she turns from Cubert into Lisa, and then they added that thing at the end was not in this test screening.
Yeah,
Whereas
I thought
like
that was
1 year
great.
later,
Yeah, that's pretty
there's
funny.
all the
They have
baby
little
Cuberts.
Because that was one of the big things in the reviews is like, oh my god, Josh Gad sleeps with Kubert. There were a lot of things in the reviews that I just didn't understand.
It's
Just
honestly,
totally nitpicky stuff.
I don't think it's nitpicky at all. I think it's people that go in with an agenda to demolish another Adam Sandler movie.
Just
They
'cause.
hate Adam Sandler. They know this. They just know before they even see it that it's bad, and they're going to sit there and nitpick their way through it and figure out all the things that he's done that's terrible. And normally, when you watch a movie like That's My Boy or Jack and Jill, it's obvious what's wrong with the movie.
Right.
But with this, it was like they have to make up things. They have to invent what's wrong with the movie.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say, I mean, if you watched this movie and you hated it and, you liked That's My Boy and Jack and Jill and you thought this was was garbage in comparison, that's a, perfectly fine opinion to have. It just isn't mine. I think Pixels is perfectly fine. I wasn't upset to have to watch it a second time. We were both, we both were legitimately surprised at the test screening how good it was.
Yeah.
We're like, we don't know why they're testing this. This movie's great. Like, they just need to finish the special effects, and it's good.
Right. Yeah.
And there really weren't that many changes. I mean, there was a little alteration to a scene here and there. In one scene, they switched from one character doing something to another character doing the same exact thing.
Killing the Smurf.
Yeah, killing the Smurf.
Well, Kevin James is really downplayed overall in the movie. And I think they kept him as much in the role of president as possible,
Yeah.
instead of giving him as much time to do comedy stuff.
Yeah.
But
I thought Peter Dinklage was used perfectly as a good counterbalance character-wise to the other guys.
yeah,
And especially the Martha Stewart, Serena Williams thing was hilarious.
That was perfect. That got
was awesome.
a great belly laugh from the crowd.
well, and
Right.
that's a great example of just take that same joke and replace Peter Dinklage with Adam Sandler, and you can get people upset about it,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that's the thing. That's where
Yeah.
the going in with an automatic hatred
Just
for an
jaded
actor.
and biased.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's so gross. Adam Sandler wanted to be with Serena Williams and Martha Stewart. It's like, no, it's gross no matter who it is, but it's funny. And it's super funny that Peter Dinklage is playing the weirdest character in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked the fact that there's a small reference. He mentions that earlier, and they come back to it. There's a lot of callbacks to jokes, and that's great. I really, off the top of my head, can't think of a bad movie that Chris Columbus has made.
Jingle All the Way.
He made Jingle All the Way?
Yep. There you go.
Jingle us.
And on that note, that's Pixels. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.